Hey, so I enjoyed making the videos every weekday, but I want to start working on projects, so I don't really want to commit myself to one video a day. So yeah, so I thought I would just do a video every week, maybe. Not definite, but yeah, just what I do. So this week was not a full week, to be honest. I could have done more, but yeah, so my idea was to make a rice bowl, and so yeah, I got inspired by someone cooking one. So like a bowl, and it's basically a bowl of rice with raw cut up raw fish on top of it and vegetables. But I was gonna do that, but then I thought a fried fish would look a bit cooler, so yeah. So this is me texturing it. I did model this last week, so yeah, I'm a bit upset that I didn't film it because that's kind of the best part. But yeah, so I'm trying to make it look grilled, which was very difficult, to be honest, because I didn't know how I wanted to do it. But yeah, so this is me just, I don't know why I went through that file, but yeah. So I'm just explaining the textures. Right now, I kind of don't mess around with roughness. I just kind of turn it off if that's a thing. I don't know, I just think sometimes my textures look better without having to be glossy or have like reflections on it. So yeah. So I wanted to experiment with this. I really want to experiment with my renders because what happens is I make the asset, then I just leave it there. Like I just render it and then move on. But I kind of wanted to do a bit more with it. Maybe introduce a character into the scene, or maybe add an environment. But yeah, so I was doing some thumbnail sketches there, but I decided on making a character with like her mouth open, like maybe saying ah, but like getting ready to eat, kind of, or like this looks so good, kind of that kind of look. So yeah, so I'm so for this I decided to get into sculpting and sculpt the face, which I like. So yeah, so I've really enjoyed sculpting, like really, I don't know, I like doing like kind of like older men. That sounds a bit weird, but like because they have a lot of detail in their face, or like people frowning. But yeah, so I still need to get a bit better in the sculpts. I still just can't do lips. I don't know why, I just can't do it. So this woman doesn't have any, but I think that fits with my style. I don't really draw lips anyway. But yeah, so I'm sculpting it. It does look a bit weird, kind of on the chin, kind of neck transition part, but yeah. So I was gonna try model it from a subdivided cube, but then I was like, you know what, let's just do the normal kind of retopology method, or the plain kind of shrink wrap. So yeah, so I try to give it some leeway, so I don't always go into all the holes, or I do a little boundary around the edge, just so I have more freedom and it doesn't like stick to those parts and then it looks very like kind of like deformed. I don't really know how to explain it, but I like giving me some freedom because I can then tweak this by myself, or in sculpt mode I can smooth it out. So yeah, around the nose is a bit weird, I think, but I like the mouth, the kind of cheek, and then around the eyes. I still don't really know how to connect the ear, so like how you go from the face to the ear and how I should connect that. I kind of just do it like the eyes, where the eyes is just a loop around the kind of eye socket, so that's what I do for the ear. I just did a loop around the ear hole, well, where the ear would be, I guess. So yeah, I didn't do as much this week, which is a bit disappointing. It was a lot on stop and starting, but I actually did go outside this week, which might be a positive. But yeah, so I wish I did more this week. I finished this render though, which I really wanted to do. Something else I didn't quite finish, because I'm trying to brand myself, if that makes any sense. So I really want to work on projects for either for little money or just for free, because I think I need that experience. Also, it'll be nice to earn some money for my skills, and I don't want to ask the loads anyway. But yeah, so I'm kind of just thinking how I'm gonna do that. I already have a website, but then do I need to set up things like social media? Like, how do I brand myself? So yeah, I'm just kind of working through that, to be honest. I'm not really sure how to do that, but yeah, I've been also getting into Illustrator and kind of like graphic design stuff. You'll see the other thing that I'm working on. But yeah, so I don't know, I really like graphic design and I kind of want to put it into my kind of Blender thing, because I feel like if you can do 3D design and graphic design, I feel like that's a good pair. So like, even though I want to model assets, I can always go like, oh, I will model your logo, I will design and put your logo in 3D, kind of like that, because people really like kind of specific areas that you go into, because it's clear what you do. Like, I feel like if I say I model 3D assets, that's pretty broad. Like, I could be more like, oh, I model weapons, but then I want to model weapons, but I also want to model objects, but then I also experimented with characters, but I'm not great at characters. That's why I didn't say I'm a 3D character modeler, because I can't. I'm getting better, but yeah. So I didn't do her full body. Maybe I wish I did, but yeah. So I was just kind of doing the tongue. For the eyes, I cut out kind of like a heart shape. So you see I made like the face circular. There you go. And then I used a knife tool to cut out a heart, which so that kind of saves me from texturing it, and it also goes it might help it to animate better if I ever do that. I really want to animate things like just simple, just to bring across my kind of renders. I think that's the next step for me. But yeah, I just find that difficult. So yeah, this is me kind of attaching the ears. Attaching the ears is always weird. I just do this where I don't actually remesh the ears. I just kind of redo them and add them back on. But yeah, she looks very cartoony, which is what I'm going for, which is nice. So yeah. What else? But yeah, I really like how this turned out. So it kind of like, there's a few missing bits here because I forget to kind of like record, but yeah. So this is me trying to do the hair, which was very difficult because I didn't really know what style I wanted it to be, but I kind of settled on a kind of like ponytail. I also gave her kind of gradient hair because, you know, looks cool. But yeah, so it was definitely fun to do hair. I do enjoy it. It's just a bit difficult when you don't exactly know what kind of hairstyle you're going for, but yeah. This is me kind of setting up the render, but yeah, I'm actually really pleased with the face. It looks really cool. So I added eyelashes both ways. So the bottom ones are kind of more spiky, and then the top one is more kind of like smooth. But yeah, I kind of really like the look of that. So yeah, I also coloured the inside of the mouth. To be honest, there's a lot of basic kind of like just assigning textures on this one in Blender. Not because I was too lazy to texture it, but I thought that would be a more efficient way than me doing the texture map. But also, I don't know. But yeah, so it worked for me. So yeah. Yeah, there's some awkward pauses in here because it's difficult to cut it all out, especially when it's a 7-hour long video and you're like, do I have to look through all of that? But yeah, this is kind of like first kind of render. So I wanted her to be like, wow, but it doesn't really get the impact. I kind of wanted like a kind of speech bubble thing going on, but it doesn't, I don't know, I don't really like it, to be honest. So yeah. I really want to do some more characters, maybe some more environments. I really, really like food now. I really enjoyed modeling this, honestly. Like, how I did the rice, I used a displacement modifier. Is it displacement? Yeah. displacement, and then use the cloud texture and then just kind of tweaked with the settings. So yeah, which it looks cool. I kind of like doing things like that. I definitely use the modifiers more now. Normally it was just mirror and then subdivision, but now as I'm getting into remeshing, so yeah. It looks really cool in wireframe as well, to be honest. I really like looking at my models in wireframe. I don't know why, it's kind of satisfying, but yeah. So I kind of added an exclamation mark, which I added separately to the text, so then I can rotate it myself, but yeah. So I just added kind of, you can't really call them shoulders, but like something below the neck, I guess, because I didn't really add much detail to it, but I guess you can count them as shoulders. Maybe I should extrude it down a bit more, but yeah, so I added kind of like a ponytail thing for her, so yeah. So I didn't really give her a scalp, and the kind of roots of the hair, let's say, is a bit messy, so I could go back and do that. But because I rendered it, you don't really see that part, so I was like, it doesn't matter. So yeah, this is me kind of seaming the face because I was gonna texture it. I actually used Blender to texture this time because sometimes it's just nicer to do it all in Blender rather than exporting it, so yeah. But I did do the rice bowl kind of textures and substance, which you saw, but yeah. So I kind of want to do something Halloweeny or spooky or scary, not necessarily Halloweeny, but like something kind of like that next week. So yeah, I think that'll be cool. This is me kind of, oh yeah, I crashed Blender, so I just spent a few times trying to get the style back. So yeah, remember to save your style. But yeah, I was trying to make a hair texture, but then I liked it how it is, to be honest. I didn't waste time, but like it didn't really go how I wanted it to go. It looked too kind of too many bumps, I guess. So yeah, it looks a bit weird if you look here, but yeah, maybe I'll experiment with that. But I kind of like the whole kind of just flat colors, no kind of bumps or normal. So yeah, this is me kind of unwrapping it, and yeah, sometimes I have to scale kind of vertices because they're like within another one, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I kind of tried to unwrap everything as nicely as possible. So yeah, for the neck I kind of squared it out because I just thought that would be more easy and simple. So yeah, definitely not perfect using unwrapping, but I like how I do the face now. But the face was a bit awkward because again, the remesh was a bit different from others, but yeah, so I just kind of gave her a blush, some simple shading. I tried with lips, as you see, but I didn't like it enough, to be honest. But yeah, so I really like this kind of like simple thing we've got going on. So yeah, 30 minutes in, I kind of get rid of the speech bubble, or I try and make a heart one because I thought that was more fitting. But I don't know, I didn't like it. I think I could have done it in other software, I feel like. So yeah, so I stilled this texture from my other project, kind of cloud texture, because I wanted it to be kind of cloudy, but it didn't look the same because the clouds in the other one where you had metaballs, and this one was just a mesh, so it didn't really look the same. But yeah, I also added hearts around her, just a few to like kind of fill up the space, and also yeah. So okay, so this is what I was doing. This is kind of like what I do in one kind of page. So yeah, so oh wait, this is a bit not in order. Yeah, this is a bit not in order, but yeah. So this is me kind of doing the speech bubble. So yeah, using Illustrator, this is a really cool tool, I think. Like at first I didn't really get it, like how to trace things, but it's a lot more easier now that I've had the practice to do that. So yeah, plus I think it's very handy when you get to use it. But yeah, so then I also brought into my drawing software because I thought I could do a better job But yeah, I kind of like the just smoothness that I got in Illustrator. Like, you see, the lines are smooth and clear. Like, I don't think I could draw there. So yeah. Dude, I spent a lot of time on the text here. So later on you'll see, I wanted it kind of where, so the text goes down the side. I'll tell you when it's there. And I wanted a gradient on top of it. But yeah, so I kind of experimented with a lot of things, with the wow in the speech bubble, the wow behind her. So yeah, I kind of just added some kind of decorative stuff. I kind of wanted it to be something like kind of retro poster, if you think about it, like kind of like buy this kind of type thing. But yeah, I like the kind of like the fish rice kind of text and then the text underneath it. So I like that bit, but the rest is questionable. But I like the idea I was going for. I just think I didn't do it properly. So yeah, I was gonna add fish around her, but I didn't. But yeah, this is me kind of doing the sticker. So instead of actually making the shape, I just used the star shapes and then made it into kind of the shape I wanted and then grouped them, which I thought was a pretty cool idea. But yeah, so this is me kind of just experimenting with all the different things you can do. So I wanted a glow around the bowl, but if you hide the stroke, the glow doesn't show up. But yeah, so I think this is the part where we lose the wheel. So maybe I was just trying to do gradient down the text so it goes lime green to the kind of pink red color. But yeah, I tried clipping masks, but you have to turn the text into a compound shape, I think, compound path, but then it gets rid of the kind of like puffy kind of, so you see the text is kind of like bubble text, is that what it's called? Because that's an effect I used. But if I make it into a compound shape, it keeps the gradient, but it doesn't keep the kind of shape I've got going. So in the end I decided I'd rather keep the shape. So yeah, maybe a fix would be to just find a font that does that, and I don't need to use a effect for that. So yeah, definitely. But I kind of like making my own font as well. Not font as in I do all the letters, but kind of like as you see on that kind of page I made, I kind of just did the T myself, drew out the T, so it's not actually text, it's just a shape. But yeah. So instead of having a speech bubble, I kind of just thought, yeah, that's not gonna work. So yeah, then I kind of export it and do some things in my drawing software. So I had a glow on it, which I thought looked cool, but then yeah, so this is kind of the start. So I wanted who I am, what I do, and skills. So what kind of software I use. So yeah, so as you see here, I kind of make the text myself, if it makes any sense. So yeah, I wanted it to be very kind of decorative, to be honest. So yeah, I was gonna also redraw over this, but I didn't really like it, I think. So yeah, we don't really do that. I couldn't really do the hair, so I kind of gave up. So yeah, also just adding kind of things to highlight that I do 3D work, to be honest. So yeah, just adding shapes or decorative things. There might be, I think the circles, the kind of red pink circles, there might be too many kind of decorative elements, but yeah, so this was cool. So I was just going over the logos because I thought it'd be cool if I do that and then use them with my color scheme and then just put them on so it indicates what kind of softwares I use. This was very cool to do, actually. I really enjoy things like this. But yeah, this is what I mean. I got a lot better with the kind of curves that you use when you do kind of the tracing over the logos. So yeah, I only did 3. I might add more, but I think that just sums up the kind of workflow I have. So yeah, that's the end of the video. But yeah, this week was cool. I wish I did this editing a bit sooner. I wish I finished it on Friday, to be honest. But yeah, so yeah, next week probably something scary. But if I don't upload, don't be scared, I'm still alive. So yeah, just trying to make income out of my models. But thank you. Bye.